Okay, so we're actually live. Hi, everyone. This is Deborah Jones. I'm your Blue Table Talk host. And tonight we have a real special guest. Tonight we have the City Councilman of Ward 4 on tonight. So before we talk to him, we always get together and talk about COVID-19, which is very important. Now, they are mandating the mask taken also. And 100% into the restaurant. So that's what's going on right now. You can go into the restaurant 100%, feet down and everything. So personally, to me, I think it's too early, but that's just me. That's me talking. But now that it's mask off, but as for me in my house, we're gonna continue to wear our mask, and so everything's gonna be okay. I hope everything will be okay with taking the mask off. But I know that probably just say if the virus is to escalate, then they're going to go back to wearing masks in Beaumont. He can't speak for the whole state of Texas. Only your governor can. So the governor says mask off, but it depends on. It really depends on the company that you're in, that is there, and who's what. Most of the people are going to wear their masks. That if you go to the restaurant, it's the employees, but it's the customers who whether or not they want to wear theirs. Okay, now if you haven't been tested, there are areas where you can be tested, and you can be tested at MD Kids 490 I-10 North Furnace Road, Suite 100. The phone number there is area code 409-212-9988. Also, you can go to Beaumont Urgent Care. They're at 3650 North Major Drive. Their phone number is 409-333-1272. Also, you can go to Beaumont Emergency Center. That's on College Street. I don't know the address there, but all three of these, they're giving rapid tests. So if you want to do the rapid test, you can go to these three places, or even People's Care. You can go there also. So other than that, you can go try anywhere, and you go to the Beaumont Health Department. They're doing the test and they're doing the vaccines. So we're gonna wait. If you haven't registered for the vaccine, you need to go ahead and register for the vaccine. Christus Prompt 2 on Darwin also has the rapid testing and also has the vaccine, but they don't do the rapid test on Saturdays, on the weekends, but they do the testing, the vaccines every day. So you go to those places. So don't forget, the COVID testing is still, the COVID is still out there, and we just have to be careful. We have to still wash our hands. We still have to mask up, and we still have to watch our distance. So if you don't, those are the three things that we must do. And so if you don't want to wear your mask, that's your preference. Like I said, for me in my house, we're wearing our masks. So we're going to talk about voting, and you know that voting will be going on in April. So last day to register to vote will be Thursday, April 1st, 2021. First day of appearance for early voting will be April the 19th. The last day to mail in your ballot by mail is the last day to apply to mail in your ballot by mail is Tuesday, April the 20th. The last day for early voting by personal appearance is April the 27th. So then therefore, the election early vote is April the 19th through April the 27th. The last day to receive ballots, the mail-in ballots that they mail to you, to your residence, will be Saturday, May 1st, which is election day. So you have April the 20th all the way to May the 1st for those mail-in ballots. Okay, so tonight we have with us Chris Durio. Hi, Mr. Durio. How are you tonight? He's running for City Councilman Ward 4. Good. City Councilman Ward 4. So, Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Oh, my name is Chris Durio. I live in Ward 4. I've been married to my wife, Gwen, for 29 years. I'm a retired firefighter. I worked for the city of Beaumont Fire Department for 31 years. I retired as a captain in 2017. I have 2 kids. I have my daughter, Jocelyn, my son, Trey. I have 4 grandkids. I got a brand new set of twin granddaughters. They're 5 months old, and I'm just so happy to be babysitting today. So I've been, watching them and getting ready for this. So I've been doing a little multitasking today.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
So how long you been a firefighter?
I was a firefighter for 31 years, and 20 of those years I worked at Station 10 on Washington Boulevard, right there in the middle of Ward 4.
Mm-hmm.
So I have experience that's my experience as far as dealing with the people in Ward 4. I've been around my whole life. I did everything in Ward 4. Elementary school at our Mother of Mercy Elementary School, Odom Middle School, Hebert High School class of 1980, and I worked in the ward also. My parents, my mom, she lived there her whole life. My brother and sister, my wife and her family. I mean, our life has been in Ward 4. So I
Okay.
feel that prepares me, to work for the folks in Ward 4.
Right, right. So why are you interested in this position as being city councilman for Ward 4?
I think with my experience, service as far as dealing with city council, I have experience. I spent over almost 20 years on the executive board of the fire union. So I have experience dealing with the city council as far as negotiating out contracts and disciplinary issue with some of the guys that I represented. And I have experience as far as like dealing with citywide emergencies. I've worked every hurricane since 1986. So I'm prepared for things like that, like the pandemic and stuff like that. I have experience in that, and I just feel I've been preparing myself. And also, I was in the Navy for 5 years, so I feel I've been preparing for myself almost 40 years to do this job. And I think I have more to offer the citizens of Ward 4 and the city of Beaumont. And I
Right.
feel my city has done a lot for me, and I think it's just time for me to give back. I used to volunteer a lot. Since I've been retired, I've just been having fun being retired, and I felt it was time to come out of retirement and start giving back.
Giving back to the public, right?
Yeah.
So what are your duties? What are the duties of a city councilman versus the duties of city at large? It seems like they should be the same. So what are the duties of the city councilman?
City councilman, a ward councilman represents the people of his ward. Beaumont is divided up into 4 different wards. So to me, your main duty is to represent the city, the citizens of your ward. They be a contact for them, be a go-between the citizens of your ward and the rest of the city council. If somebody in my ward needs something, they call me. It's something that I can do on my own, I do it. If not, I had to bring it to council, and we have to talk about it, get it voted on. So my job be to represent the people in Ward 4.
So what Ward 4? What does that constitute? What area does it
The
constitute?
area of Ward 4 starts in Terrell Park all the way out to the city limits of Major Drive. With the interstate is also it's a boundary. Pear Orchard, this area called Tripe City over there by Beaumont United High School. South Park area also over there by Lamar University, all the way out to the city limits going south. The area over there between Washington Boulevard to College and from 4th Street to Interstate 10. That like along Blanchette and Carly Street, Cartwright, Terrell, those streets there. And also across Interstate 10 over there off of 23rd, both sides of tracks, 23rd and Carly and Cartwright, and also 23rd and Laurel and Bayou and those streets over there. So it's a pretty large ward.
Yeah, it seemed like it is because I mean it goes from the like Sarah Street. Are you talking about like that area?
No, it goes all the way over to Cardinal
All the
Drive,
way,
basically all the
right,
way to Cardinal Drive, and then all the way to Washington Boulevard, and then all the way up actually to Chamberlain Street, and then it goes over almost to Laurel, in that
right.
area right there. So it covers a large area.
So are you ready for all that?
Yeah, I think I am. I don't think I would have gotten the race if I wasn't ready. I know it's a lot of work. This campaign is a lot of work, and probably a little more than I expected, but that's okay. My wife told me, I was getting kind of lazy, and I need to get up and have other things to do. I just been riding my bike and playing golf and going fishing and traveling. In the last year with the pandemic, before that we did a lot of traveling, but last year, 2020, we had the pandemic. I went through a bout with cancer in 2020. So we haven't really just been here in Beaumont. So, and it's time, give me something to do. It'll be my job because I don't have a job. I'm retired. So my
Right,
job
right.
will be to be the city council person for Ward 4.
For Ward 4.
Mm.
Right. So there are three candidates running in Ward 4. There's Brandon Johnson, Kevin Reese, and yourself. So what makes you stand out from the other candidates?
Well, basically, I think it's my time and my experience. My experience, my decision making. I'm used to having to make decisions, split second, life and death decisions. Got to make them right now, and they got to be right. When I get elected to a city council position, I have time to take input from my constituents, from staff, even from other council members. Bring in all that information and make a good decision. So I think I'll be good at that. And I say just my experience with dealing with City Hall and my leadership ability, what I learned when I was in the military and at the fire department. I retired as a captain. So I think all those things are things that I have that I think my candidates may not have.
Right,
I'm
right.
sorry, but the other candidates.
Other candidates, right, right. So
Mm.
you think with all that knowledge, that it would be driven into you being city councilman in your area? You think that would stand out with that because you have
Yeah,
all that?
I think so. I think it
Okay.
will help. I think it will be a benefit to the citizens of this ward. I really do.
Okay. So, what is one major issue that you would address when you become city councilman of your ward?
The main issue that I want to address when I become city councilman is communication, reaching out to the people in my ward. Talking to them, finding out what they want, what they feel that Ward 4 needs, and what they think that I can do to help them get that. Of
Mm,
course, everybody wants, you want to address your streets, you want to have good streets, you want to have good drainage, you want to have good infrastructure. You want to find out, about all the flooding that we just had, why it happened, and we want to make sure that it doesn't happen again. But, we know all those things are there, but I want to find out what the citizens in the ward feel that our ward needs, and I want to implement those ideas.
oh, great! Because one just came on, and so she wants to ask Mary Williams. Hey, Mary, how you doing today? Tonight, rather. She said, what are you planning on doing about fixing these streets in the Parachi and Tribe City? They are horrible.
I'm gonna do, but I can't, and that's the thing about it. Only us that people that live in those neighborhoods know how horrible those streets are.
Right.
Because you just go down the main streets and you say, "Oh, it's good," but once you get back in the neighborhoods, oh, I know, because I live out here in Terrell Park. Our streets are bad out here too. I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
address that issue, and I don't want Ward 4 to be shortchanged. There's no
Right.
reason why we have to have bad streets and some of the other wards have good streets. So I'm gonna do my best to get those streets fixed because I live here. And then, people getting their cars messed up and stuff, driving through all these potholes and things, and we got to get that fixed. You
Right.
know,
Right. And it's hard. It's just not hard in Ward 4, but since you're running Ward 4, it's throughout. I know I
yeah.
know I live in Ward 2, and it's throughout. So it just
And
needs
like
to
I
be
said,
fixed.
unless you actually get back in the neighborhoods on those streets, like I grew up over there on Heber Street, people
Mm-hmm.
don't know where that is. They know Washington Boulevard, and they might know Sarah or Avenue A or Park, but I mean, those little streets, you got to live. The only ones that know how bad they are the people that actually live there, and maybe the trash people, because they go back there. And even like to say, we used to have to drive the fire trucks back through those streets.
Right.
You know,
Right. Right. So they need to be fixed. I mean, not just patched up. They need to be
yeah, they need to be
fixed.
fixed.
That's, that's one
Not what
thing.
they
That's
do.
one thing it
They'll
does.
dig up the old asphalt and grind it up and put some oil in it and then put it back on the street. And before you know it, it's going to be broke again. They really need to be fixed. I wish they could all. What I would hope for is they could all be concrete and curb and guttered and have sidewalks.
Mm-hmm.
And we've talked to people in the past about that, and they always say it costs too much. Well, if it costs too much to ours, then why can't you do it in other wards? Why can't you do it in Ward 4? But my saying, for my campaign to me is what's good for Ward 4 is good for the city of Beaumont. If you improve Ward 4, you're improving the city of Beaumont.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's talk about the zoning part of it. If you can choose one thing in the zoning code, what would it be?
I will make it easier for the zoning commission and businesses to work together. You know, of course, in the zoning commission, certain type of businesses or buildings or homes can be built in certain areas, and that's part of your economic development to make it where a business could come in. They might not have a business like that in that zone, but make it where they can talk and they can communicate, and they can work that out. To if it had to go before a council or however they do it, they can work that out and be able to get that business to open in that neighborhood or in that part of town, and that'll improve the economic development of Ward 4. You know, one thing I wanted to do up with Ward 4 is just make it more attractive. You got to make it attractive to areas to want to come there, the people to move there. I mean, you ride through Ward 4 and there's so many vacant lots. You know, those could be, got to work with the private sector, of course. You know, you can build starter homes and stuff like that, but you got to, and businesses, it has to be attractive to businesses to come there. You got to clean it up. You got to cut that grass in them vacant lots. You know, you got to raise these dilapidated structures. You know, you got to get out and get out and pick up trash and things. But you have to involve the residents of that neighborhood. You know, get them involved. I know a lot. Once you go out and ask people to do stuff like that, they want to be involved. They want you to approach them, and they want to be involved in things like that and beautifying the neighborhood and stuff like
Right.
that.
Well, I'm all for building homes, especially for our seniors, because our seniors need that, and the city of Beaumont is not looking out for the senior citizens, and that's what you guys need to do. Look out for the senior citizens. Make sure once they get to that age point, it's like they're pushing them to the side. You feel what I'm saying? And
I know what you mean.
it's not
This
right.
is just yeah. And I'm glad that we're able. I mean, my mother she's bedridden. She's in her 80s, but we're able for her to stay at her own home, and we're able to take care of her and bring in nurses and stuff like that. But everybody's not able to do that.
Everybody ain't do that,
You know?
right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Yeah. So in Ward 4, like you said, that the streets are messed up and the infrastructure is horrible. You just need to get in there and do something. So would you fight for this? I mean, you can't be by yourself because you be fighting by yourself. So I know you have to have some.
But like this, what my experience has taught me the ability to negotiate, to compromise, but I'm not afraid of confrontation. Not at all. I'm not going to be pushed around. I'm not afraid to get in somebody's face if that's what it takes. Hopefully, we're adults and we don't have to come to that level. But if you have to, you have to. And I will fight for the citizens of my ward because that's my job. That's what I'm supposed to do. That's why I did this. That's why I did this. I'll be their mouthpiece and speak up for them. And if it's, I like to say I'll take one for the team if that's what I have to do. But I'm gonna fight for them.
Right. Now we used to in Ward 4. I'm sure that's in Ward 4 because that's Sarah Street. We used to have the Elemental Wine, but now it's no longer here. And it was taken over by another portion, someone else. Now they're not there anymore, and so that was for our youth. So what can we do with that building now? Because I don't think it's for whoever owned it at the beginning, because he's deceased now, and I don't think his family even wanted it or whatever. So what can we do with that building in Elemental Wine?
Well, we need some type of activity center in Ward 4, and that would be a good place. It's already there. That building's kind of, the city invested money on it. I'm not 100% sure if the city owns the whole building. I know they had a lady there and she was running some type of a deal for special needs students.
Right, special needs kids, right.
Yeah. And then another thing we got to look at, people don't look at, I feel we need something for the kids in Ward 4, some kind of activity center or something like that. But we also, Ward 4 is like you just said, it's a lot of elderly folks that live there.
Right.
And they need stuff to do also. And that would be good for that also. They had I didn't even know because my father had Alzheimer's, and they have adult daycare centers for people, with dementia and stuff like that, elderly folks. You know,
Right.
I grew up in Ward 4 on Heber Street over there in the Pear Orchard. And at that time, it was a lot of kids there. But you ride through that area now, it's mostly elderly folks that live over there
Right.
in that part of town. You know, that's one of the things that I said. You got to find one of the things I want to do. You have to work with private sector. We have citizens from Beaumont, Texas, doing wonderful things, great things all over the world. We got to find a reason to make them come home or make them stay home and do those things here. We could use those people and those ideas and that input here in Beaumont, Texas. But we have to work together, the council,
Yeah.
private
Yeah.
sector. We got to work together to make that happen. You
Right.
know, that's one of the things that I want to do. I mean, both of my kids, my daughter, she was living in Los Angeles. She just
We're not
recently
gonna agree
moved to
on
huh?
everything. I said we're not going to agree on everything, but we got to agree on some things. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. Both of my kids live in Houston, you know, and I mean, if there's nothing here, Bo, I mean, it's no reason. Of course, they'll move to Houston. It's just a bigger city. It's a lot more opportunity, and they have a lot more fun, a lot more entertainment, and things
Right.
like that. You know.
Right.
Yeah.
April Prejean, hey April, how you doing tonight? April Prejean says that the YMCA has been sold. They are currently working on it. She said the new owner is, So I didn't know
Okay.
it was.
I didn't know that either.
I had to,
That's the last I heard. They was having. It was. They were having. I know it. I think it closed during the pandemic, but I know at one time it was
yeah,
like a. They had for special need adults. They was having
it
some
was
type of classes and stuff over
right.
there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for their entertainment, stuff like that.
Hmm.
So, their schooling. She said there was a major loss for our area. Yes, it was
Yeah.
because it could have
Oh.
been back to the youth. You know,
Yeah.
I don't.
Man, we used to enjoy ourselves. I don't know how many of them are old enough to remember. They used to have the splashes at the Y during the summer, those pool
Right.
parties for all the kids and stuff. I mean, you used to go to day camp over there. I mean, there just about every day, especially in the summertime. You
Mm-hmm.
know, and, that is a big loss for that community.
Let me talk to my viewers. Viewers, don't forget to hit your share button so other people can come in and give their views on what's going on today with our Ward 4 City Councilman, candidate for Ward 4 City Councilman, Charles Durio. So if you have any questions, and whoever's on the line, if you have any questions, please, 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 please throw them out there so Mr. Durio can answer them for you, and we can see exactly where he stands to be picked for Ward 4. Okay, Mr. Durio, how do you plan to involve residents in your decision-making process in the community?
Well, on that deal there, I said I want to do a little old school and a little new school. You know, I want to do my old school doing town hall meetings, knocking on doors, going to people's churches and talking to them. You know, attending different volunteer events and stuff like that. And then, of course, nowadays social media. You know, you
Mm-hmm.
got it. That's how you involve them. You keep them informed, give
Mm-hmm.
them information, make myself available and accessible. You know, everybody have my phone number, or that's old school, new school. You can email me or
Right.
text me. You know, so that's how I plan on involving more people just by communicating with, keeping them informed. That's what I would like to be. I just want to be informed. You know what I have to say might not be what you want to hear, but at least you'll know. You'll be informed. You know, and if it's not what you want to hear, then you can tell me, well, Chris, I don't like that. Why don't we try doing it like this? You know, because I'm gonna be a sponge and soak up all the information that I can from my constituents and see what they want, what they feel that needs.
Right. Right. It used to be a time. I haven't been to one yet, but it was a time when the city council meeting they met at 1 o'clock, 1:30,
Hmm.
whatever. And now they're because there was so much griping about it being so early, they have moved it to later in the evening. So I don't know if they started on it yet. I
I
hadn't
think
been
right
to.
now it's at 1:30, and I think they're trying to do one a quarter, one meeting each quarter at night.
Right.
It's not a lot of people can't make a meeting at 1:30 in the afternoon.
Right. Right.
People have to go to work.
Yeah.
You know,
Most of them
so
work. Right. Right. So let me ask you, if take for instance, you lose the election, will you continue to support your community or your city?
Well, of course, I've been supporting this community my whole life. I was gone from 1980 to 85. I was in the Navy. 1985, when I got out of the Navy, I was living in San Diego, California, and just having a good time. And I moved back to Beaumont because this is my home. This is where I want to be. This is where I wanted to raise my family. And if I'm gonna be here to volunteer, to help out, to do whatever I can, no matter what the outcome of the race be. I'm not going to let that stop me. I mean, it's still my home. I still want to have a say so in what goes on in my home, in the city that I love. So, yeah, I'm going to still participate. I'm not going to disappear and just go away, because because of the results of the race.
Right. And that would be good because they would say, okay, he just up and left. It's just like people with the storm.
Nah,
they up and left.
I won't go anywhere. I mean, this is it. I tried a few years ago when my daughter graduated from high school to get my wife for us to move to Houston. Housing. This was like back in 2002, but housing in Houston was really cheap, nice brand new houses. But my wife has a big family, 6 sisters and 1 brother, and she refused to go. And her parents were alive at the time. She said, I'm not going anywhere. This is my family. This is my home, and we're going to be in Beaumont. So, okay, babe. Yeah.
So someone came to you with a plan to build something probably in Ward 4, somewhere in Ward 4, of public infrastructure in your city. How would you evaluate whether that project was worthy or worth implementing?
Well, that would be something that I would have to get with the staff up there at City Hall. They had these things called feasibility studies that they would have to do. I would ask the person that brought it to me, did they have one, and take a look at it. And if not, tell them or get staff to show us the procedure for implementing this type of deal, bringing those type of ideas to see. Because, a lot of people have ideas, but some people don't know if you could do them or not. So that feasibility study lets you know, is it possible to even do it? But one thing I feel as a city council, and I learned when I was on the executive board of my union, of course, I love to say yes to everybody. And I know that's not possible. But if you say no, if you tell somebody that you can't do something, you have to be able to explain to them why. You just can't say no. So that's part of the job too, and that's part of communicating. And they might leave mad, but they will leave informed. They will know why we had to make a certain decision a certain way.
Right. Now, I know there's a lot of land out there in the Parachet,
Yes, there is.
So where would you think they could build something for, I'm going back to the youth, for our youth? What area would you think?
Well, they have Rogers Park right there by Odom Middle School. They have Liberia Park right there in the middle of the Pear Orchard. They already had that land. They also have Alice Keith Park. There's a lot of land over there. So they already have places where they own property. But they also have, like, right there along Sarah Street by the library, it's nothing but woods right there.
Right.
So that's another place where and it's right down the street from where the Melton Y used to be. So all of those areas. But that's something I think it might have to be a public and a private project. We might have to work together with the private sector to get that done.
Yeah. Right. Now I know where Alice Keith Park is, and I know where Roger Park is, but you named another one. What was the other one?
Liberia Park is over there off of Waco and May Street in the Pear Orchard. That's deep in the Pear Orchard. That's in Pear Orchard, Texas.
That's right.
Yeah, deep in the Pear Orchard. Yeah.
Okay,
that's
I know
the park where they used to say, Beaumont, they said, is NFL capital of the world. And all those guys that played in NFL, when they would come home, that's where they would play at. They would go over there and they would play football and practice and things like that at Liberia Park.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I learned how to swim. They had a pool over there at Liberia Pool. Learned how to swim over there.
I remember that. Yeah. Now I see what I never knew the name of that part. So yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Great. Let me see what this niece Sandor Good says. Hey Chris, you have my vote.
Okay, I
Okay.
know her.
You okay? I know this too. Yeah, we went to church together years ago.
Yeah,
Anyway,
she's.
I'm sorry. You said something?
Oh no, I just no.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So okay, let's when you get into the meetings and all you guys get to talking and you talk about the downtown area. Okay,
Mhm.
we're not talking about one forward that area right there. We're gonna talk about downtown because they're all y'all together now. What is your take on how we can improve for the downtown area and make it successful?
Well, for one, you have to use the things that's already down there. I've heard other people say it makes sense. You got a river running right down the middle of downtown. You have to use that. There are a lot of lofts and apartments and condos downtown right now. You had to get people in those places. There's a lot of museums down there. If businesses and private businesses and stuff see that a lot of people are spending time downtown, then the restaurants and the entertainment and all those other things will come. I mean, I've been there, the restaurant, they even have places. I've been to wedding receptions down there, and it's a really nice area. You have to get that's another thing. We'll do what we can, but the private sector, they have to be attracted to that area. And we have to do what we can to make it attractive to them, to businesses to want to come down there. And one way is to have people there. To have people down. They say, hey, they got a lot of people down here. We need to put something down here for them.
Right. Now
That
I know,
that's what I think. It's no
I
use
know,
in having that stuff if you don't have nobody there to use it.
right. Now I know about those lofts, like a couple of those lofts down there. Are they privately owned or are they for the city?
I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that they're privately owned.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah. Because as a matter of fact, I was talking to one lady that lived there. Her child went to the school where I used to teach at, and so I said, I want to come down there and look at them because they all say it's nice, but I
Mhm.
don't know. And it is downtown. It's a now downtown
Yeah,
area, but a lot of people
yeah,
don't know that. A lot of people don't know they
yeah,
have lots.
yeah. But
But
if all those places were full, if people were living in all those lofts and apartments that they have downtown, then the businesses would come and say, well, we need to make some businesses for these people that live down here.
to
That's what
my
I
knowledge,
think.
I heard that there were people that wanted to come in to build something downtown, and Mama was just too slow acting on it. And so, how y'all can get together and talk about it and not let
That,
these people get away from
that'll be something. That'll be one of the things that you have to get with the other council. The council has to work as a team to get that done.
it?
You know, you
Right.
have to you have to throw out egos and all that other stuff, and we just got to get together and work for the good of the whole city.
But that's all the councils, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's what I
Oh,
mean.
that's
Everybody.
all.
Yeah.
That's everybody. It's just not for one
Yeah.
ward. It's
No,
everybody.
that's what I said. That the boat downtown, that'll be something that's good for the whole city. So that would be something that everybody has to get together and work on as a team.
So, what does Ward 4 mean to you as far as its structure, making the area look better and dealing with its infrastructure?
Well, I heard something the other day and I really didn't like it. One person said when she goes to Ward 4, it's like a third world country. And I don't agree with that. But like I said earlier, that area, in order to build it up, just different things, simple things like picking up trash,
Mm-hmm.
cutting those vacant lots, making sure that the grass is cut, getting rid of those dilapidated structures, making the whole area attractive to people to want to come over there, buy those lots, build houses. Some people might even want to build them for rental property or build them and sell them.
Mm-hmm.
But we have to make the area attractive to business people to make them want to come to an area. No, that's what I think. And it's like I said, something simple like getting together to involving the citizens that live there. Hey, let's get together this Saturday and get out here and do this trash pickup or something like that.
Now you know what?
Yeah.
Wait. Wow, back they did have like trash day. Beaumont did like a trash day and stuff like that. And
Yep.
because I was involved in that. We went around Beaumont
Yeah,
picking
I
up.
remember that was one of the things that Jamie Smith was doing when he was on the council, as
Mm-hmm.
far as that picking up trash and stuff like
Yeah,
that, getting together and having different days. They would do a different area each quarter or something like that. And now
exactly.
I mean it's good to pick up, and not only you picking up trash, but you involving the community.
You
You know,
involved in the you're involved in
yeah,
the so that's what you get in your ward. You know, like we said earlier, involve the community in things because
yeah.
they lost. They
People
lost.
like to feel that people like to feel that that their input and that
They
their help
belong.
is
They
needed and
belong.
wanted.
Yes.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yes. Yes.
So they
So
just got to reach out. They waiting for somebody to reach out to them and say, "Hey, can you come and help?" And even since I've been going through this campaign, I've been so surprised and proud of the people that have come through to help me. And I just asked them, and they like, "Yeah, let's do this, Chris." You know.
right. Right. Well, we definitely have to get it together because people are thirsty about helping, and then they feel as
Hmm.
though nobody wants them to help. So not
Yeah.
just in
And I think
like I
that's
said,
something that I think that's
go
something that
ahead.
I can do. Like I tell everybody, I spoke with one of the pastors in the area, and I was telling him about my bout with cancer and everything. And that's kind of when I decided to run, because I said, you know what, I haven't really given back. I used to volunteer all the time, as far as coaching. Man, I even coached. I started a traveling volleyball team for Team USA, and I helped a lot of girls get scholarships to college, including my daughter. But while I was going through that camp, I said, when I make it through this, I'm gonna start. I got to give back, and that was a promise I made to myself. And I think that's something that I can do. The pastor was telling me, he said, God ain't finished with you yet. He said that cancer was just a tap on the shoulder. I said, well, it felt more like a kick in the butt. But I understood what he wanted me to do, and I feel this is what he wants me to do, and that's why I'm doing this. I think it's something I've been called to do, and I said I've been preparing to do this job for over 40 years, or almost 40 years. So I think I'm ready.
Right, right. You think you're ready, or you know you're ready?
I know I'm ready. I know I'm ready.
What is your plan? What is your plan? Your whole plan for Ward 4 and to make this ward look good, and everybody said, "Man, I'm having to move out there to Ward 4 because they're they got it going on out there."
Well, it's a combination of things we already talked about. Communicating with my constituency, talking to them, finding out what they need and what they want, beautifying the ward, making sure that grass is cut, making sure those dilapidated structures are gone, make sure, letting and involving the community in everything, reaching out to them, making sure that they're a part of it. I think that's the thing. But most importantly, finding out what my constituents, what the people in Ward 4 feel that the ward needs, and what they want me to help them with, what they need their councilperson to do. That's what's most important to me. That's why I'm there. I mean, you can't be there. I can't go up there and say, "Well, we're gonna do this because I want to do it." But what if? I mean, that's not any good if that's not what the rest of the council, the citizens want me to do. That's what's important. And like I said before, hopefully I like to say yes to everything that they ask me. But if I can't, if I have to say no, or I say I don't know, I'll be able to explain it to them and let them know. But that would be my most valuable asset, will be the citizens of Ward 4.
Right
That's
now,
the most important.
I heard earlier that you said you're gonna give them your phone number and stuff like that. So, are you sure you want to do that or what?
I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to, because not everybody does email and text messages and things like that. So if I'm when I'm elected, they'll have my number.
Okay, okay, okay.
Yeah,
Mr.
they'll
Tall,
have my number.
Ward 4 councilman. Okay,
Yeah, they will.
okay.
That's something. I mean, I mean, I can't sit here and talk about communicating with the people in my ward and then not give them a way to communicate with me.
Right, right,
Yeah,
right. Yeah. You better get your private number. I mean, not a private number, another number. And then,
I will.
yeah.
I
So
will.
if you're elected, what three steps would you take to put our city on a firm of, or even your area in a firm of financial planning or footing?
Well, like we've been talking about, you got one. I mean, we have, like I said, one of the largest refineries in the world right here on the edge of Ward 4 and Ward 3 area. So you have to use the things that you have to support local industry. For one, support local industry, working with the school district also to prepare our students to enter the local workforce, and working with the like we said about downtown, just working with the council, unifying the council, working together to improve all of Beaumont.
Mm-hmm.
My number one priority is Ward 4. But like I said earlier, what's good for Ward 4 is good for Beaumont. So
Right.
I think we can work together, put your egos aside. I'm just a normal guy. I'm just a regular guy. Uh, just living in Beaumont, Texas. I don't have a big extravagant house. I live out here in the country. I grew up in the Pearl Orchard. I'm a country boy. I mean, every night I got to run possum and coons away from eating my cat food out back. So I'm out here in the country. So I'm just a regular guy.
You know,
I'm not, huh?
I ain't gonna visit you. Not with them cool.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's it. And I think I can get along with anybody. I would like to think that. But my wife told me, she said, you better prepare yourself. I like, for what, babe? She said, you think everybody like you. Everybody don't like you, and you about to find out. I said, oh, Lord. But that's fine. Everybody don't have to like me, but I'm willing to work with anybody. I'm going to listen to you at least, before I make up my mind about what we're going to do. I'm going to listen to everybody,
Right. Now, always remember.
So those are the things.
I remember you can't please everybody.
Oh, I know. But like I said before, I can't please everybody, but I got to be able to explain to them why I can't. I can't tell them, oh, I can't help you. I got to explain it to them. Keep them in the loop. They may want some, and I'll explain to them why we can't do it, and they'll take that information and come back and present it in a way that we can do it.
Yeah.
And
then they're gonna say Charles Durio said this and that and this, but he's not putting it out there like that. You see what I'm saying? So you have to make sure that whatever you say, you're gonna have to stand firm on it, because they're watching you. They're gonna hold you accountable for what you say.
Yeah, and that's good. I want to be held accountable because I believe in, like I call it, the 3 A's: availability, accessibility, and accountability. I've been taught accountability my whole life, from my daddy to when I was in the military to when I'm in the fire department. You have to hold people. That's one of the problems in the United States now in politics, is not holding people accountable. You have to be accountable. And one thing that I've also learned, when you tell the truth, you don't have to remember what you told them the last time, because you always tell you don't have to change your story because you told the truth. Well, it might not be what somebody want to hear, but the truth is the truth, and you don't have to worry about it no more.
And when you tell a lie, you got to remember that lie you told, and so you can tell it
again. Yeah. You got to remember which one you told, so you can tell it again. Yeah.
Word for word.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I deal in the truth. That's all. That's my daddy taught me that. He said, boy, just tell the truth. And I've been living my life by that, and it's easier. It makes your life a whole lot easier.
Right, right. So how can you make a difference in your community? I know some things that we talked about, and I know these it might be verbatim, but how can you make a big difference in Ward 4? Not just I'm gonna clean this street up, and then they're gonna say, okay, this street is good, and then all the infrastructure that's out here is, I did all this, but it has to be a big difference.
Okay. Well, you know what I'm gonna say is what I would like to do to make a big difference in my ward. I said earlier about finding reasons to have our people stay here in Beaumont. And I said earlier also about being available, approachable, communicating with the people. But you know what I want in Ward 4? I mean, why we can't have a Dollar Road area in Ward 4? That's eventually what I would like. How the shopping and the restaurants and all that. I mean, we don't have that on this side of town. We got a little bit over here at Tinseltown, but right over there, like on Washington Boulevard, or make it a boulevard, or even something like some of you folks may have been to the Woodlands, those little shopping areas up there. It's beautiful
Mhm.
up there. You know, we can have an area like that. Like I said, we have to work with private sector, private businesses, find a place to do it, have the city council do what they can to help move the process along and just get it done. Working together, I think we can do that. Like I say, not just of course the council has to work together, but the private sector has to work with us too, and we have to be able to communicate that to businesses and stuff. And like I said, we have to make this area attractive to want to do something like that. People, because people not gonna come in and they don't think they can make no money. Of course, they want to make money, you know. But I say, why can't we have a dollar road area? That's the only place in Beaumont is over there. Well, I mean, why can't we have it? Oh, it's a lot of property over here, a lot of land over here. You know, we gotta. I mean, they would have to fix up some of the streets, make sure they don't flood. I bet you, if we had an area like that, that would take care of the flooding. Cause they're gonna make sure that area is not gonna flood.
Right,
You know.
right, right.
Yeah.
So
So
there's a
that would
flood.
be the big thing that I would want to do. The big difference is have a Dowling Road type area in South Beaumont somewhere.
So does it flood a lot out there in Ward 4?
Oh yeah. Well, you know what? These last Harvey and Imelda, I mean, it flooded in places that it hadn't ever flooded before. Those poor folks in over there off of Blossom, those nice houses over there, they
Okay,
flooded
okay,
both of them. That's Ward 4 too. I have
okay.
a friend of mine after the second time it flooded, he just moved. You know, he said but you know what? Those two times that the place flooded, I mean, that's the first time they ever had flooding that bad in this part of town. I told my wife, this is the first time that I ever was home for, because most time when something like that happened, I'm at work. I was at the fire station. This time I was home, and I kept going outside and watching that water rise. And I'm
Wow.
like, man, it didn't get in our house. It got in my garage. I have a detached garage, but it got higher because I can have steps coming up my porch. It's like 4 steps, and it got over the second step. Water had never been over the first step before. It got over the second step. It was approaching the third step, and that's the highest. Let's just say that we had a 100-year flood like in 2 years. You know, between Harvey and Imelda, and
Right.
that's something that just doesn't usually happen. But hopefully, you know, it doesn't happen anymore. That's something I hope we find out why that happened and make sure that it doesn't happen anymore. That we'll be better prepared for stuff like that.
Right. So
And that's another thing. My experience as far as emergency
drainage
like that.
district is poor over there. The
Excuse
drainage
me.
is poor over there.
Yeah, that's with the county, the drainage district 6, I think it is. That's part of
Mhm.
for one of them. But that's with the county. They have different drainage districts and things like
So
that. But
that's
we still, because they have a lot of those. They've been building those retention ponds in this area. There's one that
right,
they just built one on Washington Boulevard, right next door to Blossom. They have
right.
one at the corner of Fournette Road and 11th Street. There's another one over there off Florida and Avenue A. So we have them all over the place, and hopefully they're helping out. I have one. Actually, I have 2 of them right here on my street on
Mhm.
Phelps out here in Terrell Park. Yeah,
Okay. So that would be you would be the one to be working with all that, right?
I think so. Simply because of my experience with emergencies. You know, I mean, I've been doing that for a long time, and so I think with just my experience, to me, if I'm elected, I'm ready to go to work day one. I'm ready. Let's do it. You know. So yeah, anything to do with emergency management, of course. I mean, I've done a lot. I worked in just about every division in the fire department. You know, I was in suppression for 27 years. I was a training officer for 3 years. I was a supervisor in communication for a couple of years. So I mean, I've been involved in a lot of things. During those hurricanes, you know, I helped a lot of people evacuate, helped resettle a lot of people when they came home, passed out water and food, and you know, we had to go out in those areas where flooded and get people out, stuff like that. So yeah, I think that those experiences helped me prepare to do anything that has to do with emergency management, as far as running or working with the staff at the city of Beaumont and the county.
Cheryl Chambers said, "Hello, Cheryl. How are you today?" So everywhere you look, they're building Dollar Generals, Dollar Trees, Family Dollars. So, so are they doing it out there?
Yeah, they just built one a couple of blocks down the street from my house. Right on Fournette Road. They just built a brand new I think it's a Family Dollar. And they built
Right,
that thing fast, probably within a couple of months. They ought to be getting ready to stock it pretty soon. Probably by the end of this month or in April for sure.
right,
Where they stock it, I just was informed they're gonna start stocking it on the 18th of this month. And that thing, I could ride my bicycle there from my house.
right.
It's a Dollar General. Yeah. I
Cheryl,
noticed one in Fournette is a combination Dollar Tree and Dollar Store or something. It's two in one. Right there, almost to 365 off of Fournette Road.
right. Cheryl Chambers also
Mhm.
said, "Great idea, Chris, for the shopping malls in Ward 4." Okay, so let me go. Let me take you back because I forgot to do this one. Mary Williams says, "What are you planning on doing about fixing these streets in the Peralty and Tribe City?" No, we did that one.
Yeah, we
She,
did that one.
she says, "I know where Heber Street is. My husband grew up on USAN in Sutherland. It's so bad over there." So I guess what
It
are y'all
is.
planning on doing
You know,
about that?
I made calls over there when I was at the fire department, and I was telling this police officer, she was telling me how dangerous it is over there. I said, no, not over here. I grew up in this neighborhood. He said, it's not like it was when you grew up over here, Chris. So I don't know, because I even remember my grandmother's house on Heber Street getting broken into and stuff. This was a while back, but it's just different over there. So you have to have like a police presence, just riding through, letting people see you, and you have to have. That's another thing. You have to get the residents involved. I mean, out here where I live at, if and this guy that was jogging by, he was that we didn't recognize, we didn't know him, and he kept jogging. And Gwen, she stopped him. Hey man, who are you? And the guy stopped and said, "Hey," how you introduced himself, told her where she lived and everything. And my wife said, "Okay, I just didn't recognize you. You keep running by our house, so we just want to know who you are." And that's a good thing.
Yeah, it's
It's
a good
good to
thing.
have nosy neighbors.
It's a good
Yeah.
thing. It really
Hmm.
is. Okay,
I
Chris,
call my
go ahead, sir.
I have a neighbor that sometimes he'll leave and forget to close his garage door, and I notice that all the cars are going and the garage is open, and I call him just to make sure, and he said, "Oh man, I forgot to close that thing again." But they do the same thing. They'll come by. It's a real close knit neighborhood out here. We know all the neighbors. They all know me, and we keep an eye on each other's
And
places.
that's good. That's good. That's a good
Yeah,
thing because you need to know your neighbors. I don't know my neighbors, and that's
yeah.
not good. But you need to know your neighbor. I know one of them gonna cut the grass, so, but that's another cat in the cover. Well, Chris, so give my viewers a reason why they should vote for you.
I think they should vote for me simply because of what I have to offer. I think I still have a lot to offer the citizens of Ward 4 and the city of Beaumont. I have a lot of experience. I should say I've been preparing to do this job for almost 40 years. I know I keep saying, about my time at the fire department, but that's what I know. When I spent 30 some years there, that's why I keep repeating that. That helped me prepare to be a council member for Ward 4. And I think my experience, my leadership abilities, my decision making, experience as far as working emergencies, living here my whole life. Like I said, I went to elementary, middle school, high
Right,
school, all here in Ward 4. I worked in Ward 4. They tried to move me when I was at the fire department to work in other parts of the city, but I wanted to work in Ward 4, not only because it's my neighborhood that I grow up in, but I wanted other little kids to see that they could grow up to be a fireman because they don't always see firemen that look like us. And I wanted to be on that fire truck when we go to the schools and they see, they'll see a firefighter that looks something like them or something like their dad, and
right,
and 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 uh and let them know that they could do this job also. So that's that. I just feel I still have a lot to offer the
right.
citizens of Beaumont and the citizens of Ward 4 and the city of Beaumont as a whole. And I think I can help Beaumont move because I always said, Beaumont has kind of fallen behind. It has some of these smaller cities. I say like Humble, Texas, Baytown, Pearland. You look at this place, man, those places have blown up. They have just blown up. and they kind of left us in the dirt. And we need to catch up. We behind now. We need to catch up.
We
As
need to
far
be,
as economic development go, we really do.
we really need to
And
build.
when we do that, that will start making our kids stay here,
Yeah.
instead of leaving, because they'll
Mm.
have opportunities here. Start their own businesses here in Beaumont, home ownership. They have stuff for entertaining them and things
Right.
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so Les Miles is just coming on. He wants to know where. This is a question we already spoke on. Where is Ward 4? So
We're what for? Like I said, it's South Beaumont. It's the area. I'm gonna get the big. It runs from the city limits over there off of Cardinal Drive, all the way back to Washington Boulevard, off 4th Street, or like to almost to Laurel, then up to Interstate 10, and then across Interstate 10, and then Terrell Park area, over there, Tripe City area, the area between what I used to say behind old Kmart. You remember where Cons is now? That neighborhood right there, but Milam, Blanchard, Carly Street, and the numbers South 8, South 9, South 7, all the way down to South 4th Street. Well, it's a big. It's basically in the south part of town, but it's a big area.
that includes everything across Washington Boulevard, right? Just about.
Well, from MLK,
Yeah.
MLK all the way up to 4th Street on the north side of Washington Boulevard, that's Ward 3. Once you get to 4th Street, and it cuts north, and then that's Ward 4 on the west side of 4th Street. That's Ward 4.
Okay. I feel you now. Okay, so everybody, this is we talked tonight. We've been talking to candidate for Ward 4, City Councilman Ward 4, Charles Chris Durio, and he gave us his plans. He gave us his take on why you should vote for him for city councilman. So remember, go out and vote, because voting is a choice and voting is your voice. So if you don't vote, don't complain, because you should have voted. So if you know somebody who is not registered to vote, please go out there and get them and tell them, hey, go ahead, we need to register to vote. Local voting is way important than your national, because local is right here in your city. So just go ahead and do it. Let's get out here and let's vote, everybody. So let's look at this again. We have our mayors. We have Roy West, Brigadier Hernandez Smith, W.L. Pate, Robin Mouton, and we have LaShawn Proctor. And as a matter of fact, LaShawn Proctor will be my guest on Tuesday night. At large, we have A.J. Turner, Randy Philshaw, James Eller Jr., Elias Ibarra, Brian Nepro. We have Tahar Karashi. Ward 2, Ward 1, we have Taylor Neal. Ward 2, we have Mike Getz. We have Mile Haynes. We have Alfred Dean. And Ward 3, we have Audrey Samuel, Robert Walker. And Ward 4, we have Brandon Johnson, Kevin Reese, Charles Durio. So these are the people we're voting for. And don't forget, we're also voting for school board. So let's get out and get your voice out there and go and vote. Like I said, if you don't know anyone, if you know someone who is not registered to vote, please tell them to register to vote. And the last day to register to vote is Thursday, April the 1st. So they still have time to register to vote. Our first day of early voting was Monday, April the 19th, 2021. Last day to apply for a ballot by mail is April the 20th. Last day of early voting is April the 27th, and the last day to receive the ballot is May the 1st, which is our election day. So come on, we got time. We have time, so let's get out there and do what's right, because a lot of people have died, shed blood, so that we can have this right. God bless you. God keep you. Remember, if I can help somebody as I pass along this way, then I know that my living shall not be in vain. I love you guys. Thanks for watching. This is Deborah Jones. I'm your Blue Table Talk host. God bless you and God keep you. Smooches.
Thank you, Deborah.
Bye. Thank you, Chris. Stay on for a minute. Hold up.
Okay.